Welcome to Duo Chat with Brittany and Cynthia, where we talk about drama shows from shows ranging from the 90s to today.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany.
And I'm Cynthia.
And today we have a very special guest. We have our good friend, Jaycee. We've known her since childhood.
Hey y'all, I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you here too.
Yes, boss.
Okay, Brittany. Guess that's my name on here now. So now we are starting with episode 11 called The Scare. It aired on May 5th, 1998. And
The synopsis is,
in honor of Friday the 13th, both the film and the date, Dawson plays practical jokes against everyone while he plans a seance for the gang to look up ghosts, until they are all spooked by reports of a serial killer heading towards Cape Side. Meanwhile, Jen is axed out by Cliff, in which the date ends up being at Dawson's house, while Dawson, Joey, and Pacey bring along a slightly crazed young woman named Ursula, who is running away from her psychotic boyfriend.
I can't believe you kept young in there.
So we start off with Joey and Dawson watching I Know What You Did Last Summer, and Joey's covering her eyes every time the killer goes after Sarah Michelle Gellar's character with a hook.
Okay, if she doesn't like scary movies, why is she watching them?
Maybe she just wants to fit in with Dawson since he is the one watching it and likes it. That's her best friend after all.
Yeah.
I know, but it just seems like he's forcing her to watch it.
She does eventually change it though.
Yeah, because she's scared. Do you like scary movies? Anybody?
I love them personally.
Not really for me. No.
And
I get like haunted.
especially the I Know What You Did Last Summer. That used to be one of my favorites when I was a kid.
Didn't you see that?
Yeah, I just watched it earlier this year. I think on Paramount.
Oh, okay. So you got it fresh in your mind.
Yep.
So that's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why she finally knows Sarah Michelle Gellar's name.
No, I've seen her in other things. I'm just not good with names.
I know. I like picking on you.
Yeah, I know. So Joey's scared of the movie.
Oh, and her reaction, that's me watching scary movies. Well, I like comedy.
Yeah, me too. And some drama. Yeah, so she does turn off the movie and points out how horror films are bad for society for their violence and just completely pointless with how much fear, death, and evil there is in the world already.
Do you believe that?
I think so. I mean, there's a lot of horrible things going on in the world as is. So I do get her point.
This was the 90s.
Oh, yeah. The 90s. Oh, the 90s were horrible.
What do you know about the 90s?
I don't know. I was just born.
And Dawson says how they show positive examples for ordinary people overcoming their worst fears and conquering evil. Like what, killers and monsters that eat people? Not very realistic.
No.
I fell asleep.
Yeah, so Joey's over it and tells him to save it for film class, which we haven't seen him in for a while.
Yeah, they don't keep up with that.
You know, like
I told you, the writers need to get better at this.
Mm-hmm. Write
it down of what is going on in the show. Can't they look back at scripts?
Right, and they totally dropped...
do your job.
For real.
I hate when shows do that. Like, they forgot something happened.
Because they totally dropped the whole film festival, remember? Dawson was making that movie, and then
that was
the
a big
film class
deal.
was making the movie too.
Yep.
Just totally dropped it.
Yeah, it was a big deal in the beginning of the season, and now they're not even talking about it.
Well, and another thing is, Cliff just keeps coming in when they feel like bringing him in. Like, Jen likes him, but then she doesn't, but then she like...
Yeah, it was super random to have him back in this episode.
Yeah.
So now Joey and Dawson are watching the news where they hear about a serial killer killing young girls called the Lady Killer, proving Joey right. Dawson still calls her a wuss. She's annoyed and changes it to a movie I don't recognize. But Joey goes to look over at Dawson only to find him gone.
Okay, so about that.
Yeah.
A serial killer is on the loose. I'm never leaving the house. And also, she couldn't... That's a small bed. She couldn't feel Dawson getting up.
Right.
I mean, he was sitting like basically
realistically, she would
like
know.
Their butts were like next to each other. And like, he's not little. Like, you know, she could feel him.
How did he sneak away and hide on her?
I know. Their heads were like right next to each other.
Yeah, so she knows he's trying to scare her, and when she goes to look for him under the bed, he pops out from underneath wearing a hockey mask and giving Joey a jump scare. She wrestles him on the floor.
Yeah. If you know your friend is scared, why would you keep scaring your friend?
Oh, but
they
you
just
know,
like
Brittany, you would do that to Cynthia. Don't even lie.
I wouldn't scare her. I just like teasing her.
Yeah,
There's a difference.
I had a friend who did that to me constantly because he knew I was going to jump.
Who was it?
That gets annoying after a while.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it? Your ex-friend?
I said I had a friend, yeah.
Okay. Oh, so it wasn't
Past
us.
tense.
It wasn't us, right?
No. I said he, yeah, no. Old friend, past tense, yeah. So then the theme song plays.
Oh, do you like the theme song?
I skip it. I don't. It's boring.
Have you ever listened to it?
Once.
I actually like it. I eventually start singing to it.
Yeah, I think it's okay, but I don't really pay attention either. So next day at school, we see Pacey and Dawson in the hallway. And with it being Friday the 13th, Pacey is asking Dawson what character from a horror film he's going to dress up as. Dawson says he's done trying to make his life into a movie because he'll only be disappointed like how he thought his relationship with Jen was going to be this big epic romance with a happy ending.
So apparently it's Friday the 13th, but it didn't air on Friday the 13th or near the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
I thought honestly that it was like a Halloween episode.
Me
because
too.
of the theme of it.
Right.
So I'm really surprised that it aired in May.
I think it was just a filler
Yeah,
because nothing really happened that would continue it.
right. Yeah, Pacey doesn't believe this, especially with a serial killer running loose in town. Dawson says nope, only to find Pacey finding a fake skull with glowing red eyes and a terrifying laugh pop out at him after he opens his locker.
Do you think they would allow that in school?
I don't know if they would allow it necessarily, but people would probably try to do stuff like that anyway.
Yeah.
Not at our school, they didn't, but
No, they'd get you. No, you're suspended.
yeah.
Yeah.
ISS.
Oh, did you ever go?
No, I didn't.
You know who got detention?
I heard recently.
You know, like our whole lives of knowing her. Didn't know that. I told you, never gonna let that go.
I completely forgot about it until we were recording, so.
Bad girl, Cynthia.
Yes. I mean, we thought she was the good one. See?
Thought.
You're really not Dawson. You're really Pacey.
He has a little bit of a rebellious side, though, so she could be Dawson.
Yeah, with peer pressure. She's like, stop talking about me.
Now, in class, Cliff walks into Jen's class to talk to her. He wants to take her out, but she's not sure if she really wants to. She tells him this, and he says it's because the last guy she dated wasn't any fun, and Jen ended up defending Dawson, saying that he had the most original and imaginative dates on the planet.
Yeah. Do you think so?
Well, we didn't really see that many dates.
I know. That's why I said they were a boring couple. They didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, what did they do? Where'd they go?
I don't even know. I can't
The
even...
movies with Joey.
Yeah, I really don't recall them doing a whole lot on the show.
Yeah.
No, that's why they're the boring couple.
Yeah, so Cliff makes a point by asking then why isn't she still going out with Dawson right now?
Exactly. Oh, yeah, that's right. Billy. But, you know, he left. So what is her reason?
She changes her mind and says yes to Cliff, but in the next row of seats, Joey is surprised to find a fake snake in her bag. She throws it on the floor as a reflex, and Jen picks it up, noticing it has to be a prank Dawson did.
Okay, how did he get the snake in her bag?
Without her noticing.
Right. I mean, does she just, like, leave her bags everywhere?
Maybe it was in her locker and he has her combination.
Oh, probably.
That's weird.
I don't know.
Why did you give your locker combination out?
Well, technically I didn't have a combination, at least for a while, because we had the keys.
Huh?
Don't remember?
We had keys.
No, me and Jaycee had
you
keys.
two.
Yeah, so I think we didn't even start having them until high school, right? I think that's when we used them.
I barely used mine, to be honest, so
Yeah.
I don't remember too much. I just kind of...
So really you didn't care if someone had your
No, I didn't.
Well, if I trusted the person.
Right.
See, she never trusted me.
Oh.
There was no
I
reason
know,
why
look at that.
any of us would go in each other's lockers anyways,
Yeah.
so.
Oh, I know. I would never put anything in your locker. Heck, I didn't even know where your locker was.
You don't want to put a snake in her locker?
I don't even want to touch a fake snake. No, I'm
I
terrified.
don't blame you. I hate snakes. Oh my gosh.
Me too. I'm terrified of them. What about you, Cynthia? You want one just slithering around?
No, not like that, no.
No, there was one in biology, and then it got out, and the janitor found it.
Ugh.
I mean, that'd be like my last day working there.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine just like a random day you're just doing your job like normal and then you find a snake?
And then it's probably like looking at you with its beady eyes.
Oh heck no.
I'd be screaming, someone else come and get this thing.
I'd be like, I did not sign up for this.
I know, is it in my contract that I might see a snake?
I need a raise after this one.
Always like, quit. Someone else can clean this building. Yeah, I'll never forget that day. You don't have any horror stories?
No.
See, that's my horror story of high school.
The worst I've ever been close to is just a bat in my house, but that's it.
What about the bee outside?
Well, that's not as scary as a bat, really.
You were acting like it.
I just didn't want to get stung because I've been stung before and it hurts.
Yeah, that's
So-
no fun.
Yeah, so Jen says that Dawson has a sense of humor. Cliff says he does too. And I wasn't sure if this was intentional or not, but when Cliff is walking out of the classroom, he bumps into somebody when he's trying to, after the bell rings,
No,
he's
I
in a
didn't
hurry.
see that.
Oh, yeah.
I
well,
don't
he,
pay attention to Cliff.
he did end up running into somebody because he wasn't watching where he was going. Now at lunch, Pacey and Joey are the first ones to be sitting at the games table. And
And they're
Pacey,
next to each other.
Yeah. And Pacey points out that since his brother is a cop and knows what's going on about the murderer, he knows that the lady killer stalks his victims with letters and phone calls and then slits their throats and cuts out their hearts. Now, with how much Joey hates horror films, Pacey is giving this info to the last person who should hear it.
Yeah, but he likes picking on her.
Mm-hmm. And then Jen says it's sad because he's looking for love, making Joey point out that he will probably use that as his defense when they find him. Yeah, I don't think Jen was right about that one. He was just looking for love, so he's just trying to kill women, or...
So he just steals their hearts.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a very good way to go about finding love.
exactly.
If you're
No.
gonna kill them, I mean, need a
I
new
think some people do.
needs a new plan.
Mm-hmm. Casey says to Joey if they find him, and that he attacks in 100-mile increments.
Well, that's
so
the thing. He's a serial killer. He's
Yeah.
done it before. This is his thing. Like, they haven't caught him, and do they even know what he looks like?
we
I
don't
mean,
know.
this was the 90s. It wasn't like it's social media where you can just check.
They just said like a guy in his 20s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Pacey times his saying to Joey that he attacks in 100-mile increments so he could be right behind her. And with that timing, Dawson comes up right behind Joey and scares her, giving her yet another jump scare.
And again, that's your best friend, and you're going to scare her again.
Mm-hmm.
I can't take him.
You know, boys, though, they're not as nice to their friends.
Whatever.
That's how they show they love them. They gotta tease them and scare them a little bit, I guess.
Cynthia, did your guy friend do that?
Yes, he did.
See? Point proven.
Dawson proposes a seance at his house tonight and says old habits die hard when Pacey asks him what about no more life imitating movies. Dawson sneaks a fake bloody finger onto Pacey's plate of fries and distracting him while he eats by asking Jen if she's in for the seance, and she tells him that she has plans with Cliff.
You know, they're not very bright. I mean, who's not looking at their plate when they're eating?
I know, I watch what I'm putting in my mouth.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
Because who knows, if the cooks left something or whatever. Like, I'm checking every bite.
Heck yeah.
I'm like, yeah, they definitely made that just for the scene, because I feel like regular people would look at their plate at least
Almost
a few
definitely.
times. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Pacey accidentally bites the fake finger and throws it onto his plate in disgust, making Jen ask Dawson why he hasn't scared her like Joey and Pacey, if they're friends.
Here we go with the friends thing again. They cannot be friends. Do you think?
Well, I think
do you
Dawson
they can be
wants.
friends?
Well,
Yeah, but he's still trying to go after her.
they're friends, but you can feel the tension between them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he still wants to be more, and she just wants to be friends. And until they both can get over it.
I feel like they both go through liking each other at separate times.
Yeah, that's why they
So,
can't be friends.
yeah, it's a strained relationship at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird one.
Dawson responds that he didn't think she was into scary stuff. She tells them to have fun tonight and leaves.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
So Jen's, she's not into scary stuff. Either is Joey, and he's doing it to her.
That's a good point.
But he still likes Jen at this point, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so with her leaving the table, it makes it the perfect opportunity for Pacey to put the fake finger onto Joey's plate now.
See, now he's picking on her.
She bites it and realizes what it is, and she tells Pacey he's a jerk and throws a finger at him.
So cute. I just love them.
Yeah. I don't know if that was exactly cute, but...
No, I liked when she threw it at him.
Oh, okay.
That was cute. I didn't like that he put the finger in there.
Okay.
That was gross. Again, she's not looking at her food. Look at your food. Just like, why would you take a beer from someone? Like that one episode.
Oh, yeah.
After film class, Cliff asks Dawson what he should do for his date with Jen, since Jen had told him earlier that Dawson's dates were really original. Cliff wants the exact same thing. He tells him he'll think about it. In another part of the school, Jen finds a note in her locker that reads, "You are going to die tonight." Cliff comes up behind her, touching her shoulder and scaring her. She tells him the note has to be from Dawson. He tells her he's excited for their date tonight and says it's going to be original and unpredictable.
She better hope that note was from Dawson, because that was a scary note.
Right.
The original and unpredictable part.
Yeah.
That's one
Yeah.
that I remembered for later on. We'll get there, though.
Mm-hmm. But now the note saying you are going to die tonight, since we don't know horror movies, I couldn't really figure out where that's referencing from.
Do you know?
You know?
It's not from the... Is it from I Know What You Did Last Summer?
Or is it Friday the 13th?
I thought it was from Scream. Because
We all have different things.
I asked my friend too, and he said Scream, so I don't really know.
Now, the reason I think it's part of the I Know What You Did Last Summer, because don't they get a letter from the person saying, like, they know what they did, and they're...
Yeah, I just don't know if it said that you are going to die tonight. I don't know.
I know, it didn't say that
maybe they just made it
but
up.
they might have played off of it a little bit and made their own version.
Yeah, because they might have gotten sued if they used the exact scene and everything.
Right. Now, later at home, Jen is in the kitchen where the phone rings. She picks it up with a person on the other line speaking in a creepy, low whisper and won't let her know who it is.
Okay, at that point, wouldn't you just hang up?
Yeah.
How long is she going to stay on the phone?
I mean...
Oh, what, you did it.
Me being the curious type, I would stay on the phone a little longer and see what they had to say. It would freak me out, but I think I would stay on the phone.
I know, but nowadays they got trackers. Like, remember, you only have to stay on for so long before they can get where you live and all that?
Yeah, but, you know, I am a blonde, so... I would, you know what they say.
Oh, my God. So we know who would be done.
I would be the one to die first in a horror movie.
And I'm just cautious. I'd be like watching every single person. Mm-hmm. Well, especially when there's a killer on the loose. Why would you keep talking to the person?
Well, some people just aren't that bright, Brittany.
Cynthia, what would you do?
Yeah, I would hang up.
See?
Yep, I'm definitely dying first.
Yeah, it's up to you and me, Cynthia. Who's going to stay alive?
I don't know. The caller asks who she is, and she says Drew Barrymore, referencing Drew's character from Scream. Jen assumes the caller is Dawson, so she plays along until the call gets intense. He tells her he's in the house.
That's when you would hang up again. Another chance to hang up is when it starts to get creepy, like he's right outside and all that.
Yeah, that part would really freak me out. I think I would get off the phone then.
Didn't it freak you out that she didn't hang up? And she just kept it going?
Yeah, but she was probably just in shock and didn't know what to do then, so.
Well, and then she said, first mistake she said, or one, was, my grandma's not home.
Yeah, don't tell them you're home alone.
Don't ever say that. Oh my gosh. I was like screaming at the TV.
I would lie and be like, well, I got a bunch of people here.
A party going on.
Yeah.
I've got all these like big guys here.
They're going to beat you up if you come in here and try anything.
I was like, never say you're alone.
I'm just the poor innocent girl here by myself.
Yeah, my gram's out for the... No.
Quickest way to get yourself killed.
Yeah. You're just introducing it.
Yeah, so he tells her he's in the house, making Jen run in a panic over everywhere, seeing if the doors and windows are locked.
Well, of course he's going to say that because he just heard that she's home alone.
Yep, and she has a butcher knife in her hand, and I could definitely feel her fear during this
Okay,
scene.
but you really think she'd do something? I think she'd be too scared.
Maybe, you never know. Till the moment.
With that adrenaline pumping.
Well, I hope so.
Mm-hmm. So we find out Gramps is at home asleep in bed when she goes into his room, so that answers the question if he's still around.
I know, that's what I wrote down. Well, he's alive.
Mm-hmm.
Get to
They
see
don't
him.
talk about him often.
And they barely show him. That's why I'm like, oh, he must be out of the picture. And then I just
like, is
just
anyone
randomly
actually,
show him up.
are they actually taking care of him? I mean, it seems like they put him in a room and forgot about him.
Just lock him up. We'll see if you're alive in a few months.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, how long has it been?
Oh no, we're in
And he's just
episode
still
11.
lying there.
Yeah. And then they don't even say exactly why he's like that either.
What happened to him?
He's in a coma, right? Seems like it.
Yeah, something like that, but
Yeah,
we don't
what
know what
happened to
caused
him?
it. Yeah.
They never do say.
Well, because he did have surgery because he had that scar.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened to him?
Right.
Right.
Did he have a heart attack? What?
Because Jen's there to help care for him, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's there to get out of New York.
Yeah.
Remember? She said she said Graham's a nurse. So she doesn't
Grams doesn't need help.
Yes, even though I said she was old and she did need help. Well, think about it. What if she has to like move him or something?
Oh, she would
She's
definitely
gonna
need help with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe she needs help feeding him or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so Jen ends up back in the kitchen. Someone is messing with the knobs on the front door, freaking her out even more. And then suddenly the back door flies open from the wind. A hand is placed on her shoulder when she has her back turned from the front door. But it turns out to be Graham from the store.
That would be scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably
I'd
pee my
scream.
pants at that point.
I'd scream and run.
Yeah, and I have never been more happy to see her Grams.
Right?
Yep.
Well, because at least you know if the killer came, Graham's is there now.
Grams is probably gonna get it
something.
first.
Well, you don't think that she
Then
would
she
save
can run
her?
away. She can run away and save herself.
You just always have to be faster than someone else.
Yup.
Jen asks the
Even though
caller.
I know some people that would trip me or something, and I'm like, really? Are you supposed to like protect me?
You're right.
That's what Cynthia would do. I'm saving myself.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Okay. Okay. I mean, there's got to be some little mean streak to you. Don't you think?
I think everyone has a little mean streak.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to figure this out.
Okay. I don't know what that's going to be, but back to the show. Jen asks the caller once again who he is, and he just responds with, soon, Jennifer, soon, which is really creepy.
Jennifer.
Now, even though I know it's obvious who the caller is later, I thought it was somebody else at this point. What about you guys?
Yeah, because it didn't sound like him.
I kind of figured who it was based on a word he used earlier.
Really? What was the word?
Unpredictable.
I did not catch that.
Yeah, neither did I.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he just spoke with her. And he said the same thing earlier that the person said on the phone call. So I kind of caught that.
Okay. Yeah, that was good.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so since I watched this on Hulu with ads, after the commercial for me, I saw that we were at Dawson's house and he was setting up more horror pranks on his front porch.
He's like obsessed with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then Joey walks up and sees what he's doing. He acts like he has no intention of pranking anyone, but Joey knows better.
Well, and like she's like the first target of his.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been friends with him so long that she already
knows.
knows he's up to something.
Yeah.
Well, that's why she goes, I see it. Like, don't have to hide it.
Yeah, so Paige shows up now where he's going to take them to get some things for their seance at the store. And when they leave, I don't know if you guys noticed, it was like the sun was setting, and by the time they got to the store, it was completely dark. So how far did they drive?
Ah, that's a good question. They had to have gone a little distance at least.
So it's a small town. So there's what? One store? I don't know.
Maybe they had to drive to a different town at that point.
Yeah, I don't know.
And also, Pacey's bad driving. We need to talk about that. Do you really think he has a license? I mean, who would give him a license?
I don't think he does, seeing as he has to steal the car to use it.
I just thought it was odd. I'm like, who in the right mind would give you a license? Well, they did say he's a crazy driver.
Yeah.
Did you see him? Their heads flying back.
Mm-hmm.
I would never ride in a car with him.
It's a little bit like how I drive.
Oh, you have nothing to say about that?
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen her drive.
No, I was talking about Pacey.
Well, no, because I'm just paying attention to everything else. So, like, little details like that, I don't look at very
No,
often.
that's why I usually point them out. And then she always...
Somebody needs to.
Well, and then she just she's like rude and tells me, I find out the storyline.
that
Like,
part's
those are
not
mine.
important, Brittany.
No, I look at their smiles, all their reactions.
That's good, though. You got to notice the little things. Sometimes those end up being the bigger things.
Right.
Yeah, and then at the beginning of the series too, that we had like some, since we have wider shots now to watch,
You see anything?
no, I'm just from before, like Brittany's pointing out, like there is a bug.
There was a bug
yeah.
in one episode, and then there was a mic
Yeah.
in like the first episode.
Oh.
Yeah, so things like that too. She points out. Yeah.
Well, it kind of freaks you out when it just comes right from the screen.
Yeah.
Like a spider. And also, why would you stay in the car? Pacey tells Joey to stay in the car.
Right, she's the only girl.
She's the girl. And the guy goes after girls. Why would you leave her in the car? You mean to tell me one of the guys couldn't sit on the car?
I guess not.
Pacey, because it was his
car.
Versus his family's car.
Maybe he's scared and doesn't want to be out there alone.
Okay, then leave Dawson. Dawson loves being scared.
That's true. He loves his prey.
But why her? Wouldn't you say,
Yeah.
I'm going in with you?
Right.
I would. I would not be sitting out there with a serial
Me too.
killer.
I'd be like, I'm going to stay right in between the two of you.
Yeah, I guess that was the only way that the writers could think of having Joey being alone so that, someone would find her, or the possibility of someone finding her.
That would make sense.
Little naive, Joey.
Yeah, so with the boys inside the store, when they enter, they see a woman and a man having a verbal and physical fight. Casey wonders if they should do something while Dawson says to not get involved.
Would you guys get involved?
No.
I would probably watch from a distance to make sure the woman's
Nothing got
okay.
physical? Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too, as long as he's not like punching her and stuff.
Right.
I mean, nowadays it's good because they have cameras in stores.
Yes.
So it'd be like, I don't really have to get involved. I can just like call the cops.
And then like getting involved, you could get hurt yourself even.
Mm-hmm. So it's like you sit from afar, you watch. If you need to call
Then
the police,
you can call.
Yeah. And then nowadays it's good. Just look at the camera footage.
Yes.
Yeah, so the man leaves finally, and the woman's yelling at him as he walks out. And then she spots Pacey and Dawson, and all of a sudden is just calm and cheery within a second. She finds out about their party and ends up sneaking them a bottle of wine from the store.
Why is she talking to two young
I
kids?
thought that was really random
Yeah.
how she just took it upon herself to steal the wine for them. They didn't ask her or anything. Like, that's just super random. Who wants to put themselves in a situation to potentially get in trouble for a bottle of wine?
Well, and two high schoolers.
Right. She's obviously insane.
Well, and why is she talking to the two of them?
She's way older.
You can clearly tell that they're young and you're not. So, I mean, why would you just go up to random kids and then, oh, you want me to buy this for you or whatever? It's like, and then she ends up stealing.
Yeah.
What? That made no sense.
Yeah, I really didn't get that.
Did it make any sense to you, Cynthia?
No, just like the woman at the bar with Dawson, She
Yeah.
talked to him, and I don't know, just the adults in the show just don't really think about age or something when they're talking to other
legal trouble.
people.
Right.
Guess they don't care about getting sued or going to jail. Let's just date students and hang out with young kids.
Yeah.
Yep. And then back at the car across the street, Joey is given a scare when she looks out the window and suddenly sees a man. Now, I automatically knew exactly who this guy was with the way he was complimenting her.
Okay, but doesn't he like tell her to roll down her window? I don't
Um,
know. I feel like he was like motioning to roll down the window.
yeah, I think he
Yeah.
got motioned, yeah.
Well, okay. I would go, I'm good. You can talk to me through the window. Like, I'm not rolling the window down even a little inch. Would
But we
you?
gotta remember, Joey's a little naive.
Yeah, but would you?
I probably would. Because stupid me, I can't hear that great. So I would roll it down and hear him out. But
Serial
it's not
killer.
smart.
Okay, serial killer out on the loose. You're gonna roll the window down. You're a girl. They're after your type.
Like I said,
And you're gonna go roll the
I would
window
be
down.
the first one to die. So yeah, I probably would. It's not the smartest thing to do, but I would.
Cynthia, what would you do?
I would maybe just roll down the window, but like by like a centimeter.
Okay, all right, we found out who's the second one to go. I'm the winner.
I'm surprised it didn't click with me who the guy could be when I first watched the episode.
He was creepy though, and then when she points to where for directions, anybody who really is asking for directions are gonna look to see where you're pointing.
Yeah,
And he wasn't. He was just being
stared right at
mesmerized
her.
by her, and I'm like, ew, like you really are creepy.
And he, like we were saying, he's an older person in the show going after a young person again.
I know they got a theme with this.
Yeah, so he is complimenting her and asking questions, and she just easily told him her name.
Oh, that was the other thing. Well, never give out your name, and if you do, make one up.
She probably felt put on the spot. I mean, I felt that way before. But yeah, hindsight, it's like, why would she tell him her name?
Yeah, it made no sense.
Now Dawson comes back from the store and he sees the guy talking to Joey. So I think what did he say? He said that what's going on, or
Oh yeah, Dawson said, "Hi, can I help you?" And then the guy said,
he's like no sport. And I forgot what he said, but
"It was some
yeah.
something like it was like
Yeah,
no,
it
it was
said
like
no
sport."
It was just creepy.
Yeah, it was like one sentence.
Yeah, and then he looked back at Joey and said, "Thanks, Joey," or something.
Yeah, that's
said her name to her.
Well, and then Joey's lucky. Dawson came outside at the right time because she would have been the victim.
She would have been the next one with her heart slashed out.
Along with somebody else. You.
Yep.
So you're the first one to go, and you're the second. I survived. I wouldn't have rolled the window down.
You're the one that is alive at the end of the movie, and everyone else is just dead.
Yeah,
Final girl.
See, we know who would. See, we should do one, and then I'm the survivor.
Yeah, so Dawson gets in the car with Joey and says, did your mother ever tell you not to talk to strangers? He has a perfect profile for a serial killer, and that this is the 90s. You have to be careful.
Yes. So my question to you guys is, he said, it's the 90s. You got to be careful. Do you think it was worse in the 90s, or is it worse now, 30 years later?
It's kind of hard to tell because we were little kids then, so we weren't really aware of what was going on back then. But
I think people were able to get away with a lot more back then, easier than they can now. I think our crime might be a lot worse, but these serial killers back then seemed to have go on for a lot longer without getting caught.
Well, yeah, because the only way they could, people could get information is a newspaper or the news.
Right.
Because there was no social media. Now, if something's happening, they just post it, or, they post license plates,
Right,
cameras,
word gets
like
spread
all that.
faster.
Yeah, like watch out for this person, and they give all the specifics. And so now they can catch them. But do you think some people like the attention, so it's worse?
Oh, absolutely. They thrive off of it. Some of these people just want to get famous for their crimes.
Yeah, so I feel like it might be worse because they want that 5 seconds of fame.
Right. I can definitely see that.
Yeah, me too.
Like, you really have to watch your back nowadays.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so Joey says to Dawson that he's paranoid and that the guy was just asking for directions.
No, Joey. Little naive Joey.
Now, the woman Ursula the guys met in the store comes
I have
walking.
a question. Do you think
Yes.
Dawson really would have done anything?
I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I think if he had to, he
I think
probably
Joey would have done something. I think Joey would have, really
would. You got it out for Dawson.
Yes, I do. Think about it. She beat those guys up.
Hey, we're not there yet.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Remember, she got a detention for beating
Yup.
them up. So clearly she's good at that. So I feel like she would just protect anyone.
She is a little spitfire, man.
And I think Dawson is more like, remember, he's the one that said to Pacey, let's just sit back and not get involved. Where I think
Yeah, when the
Pacey
couple was
wanted-
arguing.
Yeah, Pacey
Yeah.
wanted to get involved. He was watching, and Dawson's like, just get our stuff and let's go.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think he would do a thing. I think he would just watch, what's going on?
More talk than action.
Yes, I mean, she's just lucky, just a guy, and the guy doesn't really think like I think.
Right, yes.
Oh, it's good to know you like Dawson.
I do.
Yeah, so Ursula has the wine and Pacey invites her over to Dawson's,
That I do not understand. Why is Pacey inviting a random older woman to his friend's house?
It's not your house.
I don't know. It just doesn't make sense in my mind.
And she's older. You don't know a thing about her. It's not like she, at least when it was your teacher,
And you
knew
just seen
some
her
of
act. You just seen her act crazy, and you're gonna invite her over.
Yep.
Well, and she just stole wine, and he even said, "You're not going to pay for that." So you know she's crazy.
Exactly. Like, if she's stealing the wine, is she gonna steal from your friend's house?
Right. I mean, are you going to watch every move she makes?
Right. That part.
See, if I was Dawson, I'd be like, "This is, my
It's
house.
not happening."
Like, you're gonna watch her if you bring her over."
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
well,
he just loves talking to strangers.
right.
Billy. I mean, anyone else?
Yeah, well, Dawson doesn't really get a chance to object about her coming
No,
over
because it got crazy.
Yeah.
because now Ursula's boyfriend, we don't know his name yet at this point.
You know, the guy came back.
Yep, but he comes back and he starts just rushing after them. So Ursula and Pacey rush to the car and they get inside as quickly as they can. And Pacey locks the doors, but then it does take him a second to take off because he's panicking. He has the keys,
Yeah, and then everyone's freaking out, locking their doors.
Mm-hmm. And the guy's banging on the windows trying to get in, and he's just freaking them out. And at this moment, this guy is more scarier than the serial killer, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I actually thought he was the serial killer.
I did too at first because of how
'Cause he's
aggressive
crazy,
he
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Like, if that's your boyfriend, oh.
Yep, so they take off, and then the next scene we see Cliff coming to pick up Jen for their date, and her gram steps out in the doorway and sees him, and she says how much of a good guy he is, point out the fact that she sees him every week at church,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, she definitely approves of
a few
him.
episodes ago, I said, man, she hates Dawson.
Right.
And then you were like, well, I mean, it's a boy, and, giving me that, but she likes this one.
Yeah, I put that in my notes
She
too.
loves this. She wants Jen to marry this one.
I missed that part where they go to church together. That's got to be the main reason
Well,
she
they
likes
don't show
him.
up, so...
Well, yeah, but that's got to be why she likes him, because he's a churchgoer just like she is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just weird how she hates Dawson. I mean, what has he really done to make her hate?
Older women, they just hold grudges for no reason sometimes.
Well, the grandmas?
Yes.
Yeah, so Graham definitely approves of Cliff, and I said in my notes, which is surprising because she was so against Dawson or any boy that was involved with Jen before.
But again, like Jaycee said, he goes to church.
Mm-hmm. And Jen points out to Cliff that her grandma liking him isn't a good sign. At the last second of the scene, Jen finds out that they're going to Dawson's house for their date, and this is their second date in a row now.
So you just walk right across the yard.
Yeah, and once again, Dawson's a part of their date. It's almost like Jen is still dating Dawson at this point.
Yeah, that's really weird to take your date to her ex-boyfriend's house.
Well, and also, why did he go to Dawson for questions about Jen?
In a way, I thought it was kind of sweet because he knows Dawson knows her so well that he wants to make sure he can make their date special.
But see, Jen broke up with Dawson. So that means Dawson probably still likes Jen. So why would you go to the person that might still have feelings?
Cliff just isn't as sensitive.
Or he's not as smart.
That too.
So back at Dawson's, the kids are watching Ursula look around Dawson's house
Well, at least someone's watching Ursula.
before picking up a can of popcorn, I'm assuming, and opening it with one of those slinky snakes popping out and scaring her. She says she doesn't mind it because her boyfriend, Eddie, now we know his name, the guy who traumatized...
She actually said his... I missed that part.
Me too.
Yeah, so Eddie, the guy who traumatized the teens back at the store, scares her all the time.
I was still just wondering why she's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Mm-hmm. Jen speaks with Dawson about the note and call she received. She says she knows it was him, but he tells her he doesn't take his pranks that far. So is someone else. In the living room, Cliff tells Dawson that his idea for his and Jen's date is going well and that he thinks she's warming up to him. Dawson acts like this doesn't bother him as he sets up the seance. Everyone finds more jump scares around the house that Dawson set up, like the fake skeleton falling out of the closet. Creeped me out the most with the girls, Jen and Joey, finding that.
Oh, yeah.
I've got nothing.
He really had a lot of jump scares.
Like the frozen fake head in the freezer.
You know what I'm surprised about?
What?
Is that he didn't film any of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he is a filmmaker. Why is he not making a movie about it?
Think about it. That'd be good. They're real reactions.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. So then the seance starts, and for some reason, Ursula's leading it,
She's so weird.
Yeah,
I thought Dawson would lead it since it's his party.
right.
Yeah, but Ursula took right over. Some old lady.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Casey suggests that they call the victims of the lady killer to find him to get their reward money. Dawson tells the group how the killer kills his victims, which is exactly what has been happening to Jen. Dawson tells a ghost story and Cliff follows right after, trying to impress Jen, but his story ends up being disturbing about a snake killing a baby.
See, here we go, the snakes.
Yeah. Now it's Ursula's turn, who tells a story about a serial killer that kind of sounds a lot like her. Right as her story ends, the power goes out. Everyone believes it's Dawson's doing for the power going out, and Pacey is starting to get scared now. Some of the kids get things for light, and others check doors and windows. Pacey and Joey end up alone together to check a door. Pacey starts talking about how he likes Ursula, and Joey tells him he has bad taste in women.
I think Joey's right.
He tells her how she's all into He tells her how she's all into Dawson and says he's in denial. They're interrupted by a sound upstairs. Pacey leads to check it out until he has to stand back because a swinging axe comes out of nowhere.
But do you think Pacey's right? She's all into Dawson?
Somewhat.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think you watch the show then.
Yes, of course, that axe that came out of nowhere is fake, but that could have easily knocked Pacey down the steps if he wasn't too careful.
Yeah,
See, Dawson's mean.
Yeah, he did not think that
And
through.
you like him.
I think he's just a young, naive boy. And, boys just aren't as nice as girls. I mean, let's be honest. It's true.
It really depends.
See? That little devil's coming out. Out of Cynthia.
Well, it's just I've had a few guy friends, so I've only had, one or two that's only scared me a little bit. So it depends.
Yeah, some can be sweet, but I mean, there's a lot that aren't.
So now Jen and Cliff find writing on a mirror in a closet or room that says you're going to die tonight. And Jen still thinks Dawson did this and is getting really fed up. Cliff makes it worse by saying what if it is true that a serial killer is after her. And Dawson is now with Ursula, who reaches into her bag, making him nervous that she might take out a knife, like she was talking about in her story, but turns out to be a scarf. She jokes around about pulling out a knife because she knows he's nervous. Ursula says she has a sixth sense and she knows about the girl who he broke up with that he still likes.
If he's scared,
Yeah.
why didn't he kick her out?
He's
like,
too
it's
scared.
His house. Get the heck out of my house and
Is
push
he
her out.
actually scared, though, Dawson? I feel like he's faking it. Yeah.
Cynthia, you got an answer?
I don't know.
Because to me, he just seems like he's kind of downplaying the whole situation. And he doesn't seem quite as terrified as everybody else at this.
Well, yeah, it's like, did you really turn the power off?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she says that he still likes this girl that he broke up with, and she loves him back. And the girl that he's been scaring, Dawson says he's not scaring Jen, he's scaring Joey. Ursula says things will work out between him and Joey. Dawson points out that Jen is his ex, not Joey. She says that's his problem, he's dating the wrong girl. But of course, Dawson says it's not like that with Joey. Dawson did plan for the power to go out, but now he can't get it back on because the fuse box is jammed, like someone else did it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Now, back inside the house, Dawson finds out Joey went to look for him alone. He hears noise from the closet near him. He opens it, and Joey ends up falling onto the floor with her throat slit. Dawson then looks up to see a dark figure with a knife coming right at him. And then, after that, the dark figure in the mask turns out to be Jen. She and everyone else is laughing. Jen planned this because she still thinks Dawson's the one who left the note and called her.
I really like that they gave Dawson a taste of his own medicine there.
Yeah, me
Because
too.
he pranks everybody so much in this episode that he deserved that prank.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so he goes up to his room mad. Jen follows him and confronts him about
what a baby.
not scaring her and why he invited her and Cliff to his house tonight. He says it was in an attempt to get over her. They almost kiss, but before she pulls away, she says to consider part of his life still. Then back outside the house, Pacey is still trying to hit on Ursula, but her boyfriend Eddie finds them and goes to attack them. Pacey and Ursula make it back inside the house. The guy's trying to break in now. Ursula says that Pacey is her new man and he'll protect her.
Oh, my God. So gross.
A new man, but he's a young boy.
Mm-hmm.
Underage. Here we go again. Another story.
After some struggle, Eddie makes it inside and attacks Pacey, but before he can strangle him to death, Joey uses a frying pan to hit Eddie on the back of the head.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Joey protecting Pacey.
It's his knight in shining armor.
Yeah.
Well, she's good at fighting, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it was...
Well, and then you also have to think how much damage that guy did to the house.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that's going to cost them some money in repairs.
Yeah, and which one's going to pay for it?
Right.
Probably not Ursula or Pacey.
I was going to say. Dawson, you're friends.
Yeah, exactly. So after Joey was showing some final girl action, Ursula pushes Joey off of Eddie and says to Eddie that that everything's okay and they'll go home and she's all affectionate now. And she says sorry for the damage that Eddie has done to the house. And she said that she would give them a discount at her bowling alley she works at.
Ooh, yay.
Oh, and also, okay, so Pacey's underage, right?
Yeah.
Why is she, she's the older one, why is she pushing Pacey towards her crazy boyfriend? He's just
Because
a
she's
kid.
psychotic herself.
I'm like, why are you pushing Pacey? What'd he do? You want him to die?
That woman, she's just so crazy this whole episode. I really don't get the point of her.
You know, she goes to random kid's house and hangs out with a bunch of kids. That's creepy.
That's the definition of the boogeyman right there, man. Ooh.
I kind of felt like she was the killer.
Yeah.
Like, you all just let the killer in your house.
Yeah. And then she ends up breaking more glass when she shuts the door. Cliff is walking Jen home now, where Jen finds out that Dawson told Cliff she likes to be scared. Cliff says he knows that she doesn't like him and compares him to Dawson. Cliff admits that he got advice from Dawson, making her put it together that he was the one who left the note in her locker and called her house. This makes her realize things with Cliff is too much for her right now, and she tells him that she isn't looking for a boyfriend at the moment, but if she was, she would want him to be himself.
See, that's where I realized it was Cliff calling, because he had said he used that unpredictable phrase earlier when he asked her out, and then when he called her on the phone. And that's where I kind of put it together. I was like, oh, it's got to be Cliff. But I really wasn't sure till that part right there.
Right. How about you, Brittany?
I'm over them, too.
Yeah, so I didn't realize it was Cliff until that moment, too. Let's see. Casey, this was kind of funny. Casey walks to the car, but not before checking to make sure Eddie is gone. Like, he was using his flashlight, like, looking around everywhere. Now, at the door back at Jen's, Cliff asks to kiss her, but leans in before she can even answer, which was going to be a no, but, you know, he kissed her anyways. And during this kiss, her grandma opens the front door and says sorry for interrupting them and to take their time.
I know, and then Jen's like, well, then Jen goes, oh, it'll just be a minute. And Graham was like, take your time.
I couldn't believe she was like okay with them kissing at that point. I'm like, what? This is not like Graham's.
I know. I was like, Grams wants them to make out. I mean, what, she wants them to get married and have babies too?
Probably, you know, they go to the same church.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's going to be a turn off for Jen. Because remember, she said, oh, Grams likes you. That's a bad thing. But I think it's only bad for Jen, because Jen likes to go against Graham.
Yes, she doesn't want to do what her Grams wants.
So I think it's only bad for her. And then Jen's like, I don't want to make out with you after Graham's just told me I could.
Yeah, so Jen ends up kissing Cliff on the cheek and heads inside. And she walks into the kitchen to her grandma, who gives her a letter. When she opens it, it makes a noise that startles her. She sees that it's from Dawson, and this makes her happy to know that she was included in his scary pranks. And now in the last scene here, Joey and Dawson are in his room talking about all the pranks that happened tonight, and he was more scared. Joey admits that she thought she would hope that he would be sad if she had died. From seeing her earlier, he tells her that he would be inconsolable, and he wouldn't know what he would do. It's the worst thing he could imagine. This makes her smile. She asks him the same question, and she nods her head and ends up sleeping over again.
Oh, my, here we go to sleeping over again. I thought you weren't going to spend the night anymore. Did they forget that episode?
I think
that's
Joey,
all they talked about.
I think Joey just doesn't want to remember that. She wants to stay with Dawson.
But it's just so crazy. Like, that was the whole plot.
Well, now Joey's got a chance with them again, so.
Oh, Lord. What do you think, Cynthia?
I don't know. I think just from the whole night, too, with the whole Eddie situation, she might just be scared and just doesn't want to go home right now. And
that would make sense.
The serial killer's still on the loose. Yeah.
That's a big house.
Dawson's,
Yeah, is it like a 2-bedroom? She can't go and stay in the guest room?
Right, he doesn't have another bed for her to sleep in. I mean, my parents would have never allowed that.
I know, they let us because
we're girls, but they would have never. I mean, a boy spend the night, let alone in the same bed.
Right, he'd have to sleep on the couch if you have no room.
They must have a lot of trust for Dawson.
But that whole house, even when Billy spent the night, Dawson didn't know Billy, and yet there was no room for, like, another room for him.
Yeah, and
like
it's
a guest room.
Big house, like you're saying.
I just can't believe there's no other room for all these people that spend the night.
That's a good point, yeah.
I mean, he didn't know Billy, but yeah, Billy is going to just sleep on the floor with me.
Yeah.
Ew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or even on the couch downstairs, maybe.
Right, that's what I would say. Like, I don't really know you, so I'm going to sleep on the couch.
Right.
And then I can just leave in the morning.
Yes.
And then after they get comfortable in bed, Dawson turns on the news, where they find out that the man that had asked Joey directions earlier was indeed the lady killer.
And then they look at each other.
I love that part because I thought they weren't going to show us who the lady killer was. They were going to leave us hanging, and then they showed it right at the end. I was like, oh, I was honestly shocked. I don't know why I didn't put it together earlier.
I thought it was Ursula.
Yeah, I really thought it had to do something with the couple, but to find out it was the guy that was talking to Joey.
Oh, that's creepy because
He almost got
was a
her.
victim.
Yeah.
Again, do not open your window, your car, anything.
Nope.
Yes.
I would.
All right, so everyone, do not listen to Jaycee.
Bad advice over here.
Yes.
Yeah, so this time Dawson was the hero in this episode for Joey. And I know, Brittany, you don't like that.
He saved her life.
And that was the end of the
when
episode.
Pacey walked out first.
Pacey would have just...
Pacey would have punched him before Dawson
No,
would have.
Pacey was too interested in the older woman.
But what about when she was drunk? He took care of her then. and he
Well,
punched the guy.
she couldn't fend for
wouldn't-
herself at the time.
Dawson wouldn't do anything. He would just stand there and watch. You know that.
I don't got much to say for that one.
Because, Pacey is more protective than Dawson.
He can be.
Thank you.
He can be.
Thank you for that. What do you think, Judge? Who won?
Well, and
Me, right?
just this episode. If we're going episode by episode, I say Dawson was better in this one. Just because Pacey was too preoccupied with the other woman to even know what was going on with Joey.
Yeah.
He probably didn't remember she was in the car in that moment when he was talking to her. So,
Well, he probably didn't think she'd roll the window down.
yeah. And then, Pacey isn't really thinking about Joey anymore because how she...
Dawson told him not
Yeah,
to.
Dawson's like, no.
Let's listen to the other the idiot. That's what I want to call him.
Well, I'm just saying, too, because Joey had rejected him earlier in the other episode after he kissed her.
Yep.
So now he, lost interest in Joey right now. So,
I
he's
don't
not
think
really
so.
thinking about her.
I don't think so. I mean, he still teased her.
He's got
at
the
lunch.
hots. He's got the hots for Ursula right now.
Ursula, she's crazy. And
But
he
he's
knows
got the
it.
hots for her. Doesn't change that.
But he learned that she's crazy.
I think he likes him crazy.
Joey did say to him earlier that he has a mother complex.
Oh my god.
I
You
agree.
guys.
Because when do we ever see anything about his mother? He's definitely having something missing there. So
Yeah, we don't even know if his parents are together because they don't even mention the parents together either. It's just the dad, this, the dad, that.
He's on his
that,
own,
so.
you guys. I mean,
Oh yeah, he wants to emancipate himself. Or
oh my god.
that's later on. My bad.
It's okay. Yeah, I mean, we can tell things are bad anyways, at least with Doug already. So, yeah, so that's probably why
See,
Pacey's
that's why he
always
never
somewhere
goes
else,
home
too.
because
Yeah, he's never
everyone's
home.
mean to him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go home then either.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, so that was the end. So now,
Oh, it's finally the end.
yep. So what's next?
All right. So what was your guys' high and low, if you had one?
My high was the ending. I really liked the ending, finding out who the lady killer was. That was my favorite part because it was a little shock. It wasn't. It shouldn't have been that shocking, but it was kind of shocking for me.
Mm-hmm. And then you're low?
The couple Ursula and Eddie. I didn't really understand what
They were about?
what they were adding to the episode. I felt like they were kind of irrelevant to the storyline.
Mm-hmm. Brittany,
Oh, I'm next.
do you want me to be next?
I didn't really have a high. I didn't like the episode. It was a filler for me.
Okay.
The whole low was the episode.
Just because it was a horror-based episode?
Well, yes, and what does that have to do with the story of the show?
I could understand if it was a Halloween episode,
Right,
like I was
yes.
thinking, but it's not.
Right.
So
it
I-
has
yeah.
nothing to do with it. So it's just a filler for me.
Yeah, so my high was when Joey was hitting Eddie with the frying pan.
That was a good part.
Because up until that point, she was like the scaredy cat, she didn't like the horror movies and all that, but she actually showed that she would probably end up being the final girl if it came down to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the low, same thing with Ursula and Eddie, with him attacking them at Dawson's house and everything. And
Right.
yeah, so
Well, I just didn't think it made sense to bring a crazy lady that you don't even know.
A random person had nothing to do with the story to begin with.
You saw how crazy she was at the store.
So why bring her home?
Let's invite her anywhere you go. Yeah, no, now she
felt
knows,
like
now they know where you live.
Maybe the writers didn't have much to go off of, so they're like, let's just throw this random couple in and make a story of it.
Lord. All right, and then what would you guys rate it? For me, it would be a 4.
I was thinking a 4 or 5. It was a good episode, it held my attention, but it's not my favorite episode.
Yeah, I'd probably say like maybe a 6 the highest.
Yeah.
A 6?
Yeah, it was interesting. 'Cause we were trying to figure out who
I
was,
did like all the jump scares in it, too.
because they did keep you guessing on who the killer was and everything. So.
Yeah, it was kind of suspenseful.
I was just turned off.
Well, that's not your type of
No,
movie
give
or
me
show.
comedy. Come on now.
And
All
worst
right.
and best characters?
Yes, what are they?
My best character of this one, I would say is Cliff. I know you're not a fan of Cliff, Brittany, but
Well, I like him better than Dawson.
you know, he was pretty caring towards Jen and put a lot of effort into their date. And, you know, that's not something I would normally expect from Cliff. And then my worst character was Pacey because he invited Ursula over. Like, who does that?
All right, Pacey hater. Alrighty. Dawson lover? Okay. For me, the best was Jen. I liked when she pranked Dawson. And then the worst was Ursula. She needed to go.
I do agree with that one.
I didn't like it. It made her, you know, because she was with them, the crazy boyfriend came.
Yeah.
And then she was like making Pacey protect her. And then when Pacey is like being strangled by him and then Joey hits him, then she's like pushing Joey. It's like, now you want the boyfriend?
She definitely caused a lot of chaos in this episode.
And a lot of damage and money. I mean, think about
Oh,
that.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Cynthia? What's yours?
My best was just Joey, just because like I said, she proved herself to not be such a scaredy cat and actually was there for Pacey when he was being attacked.
Showed her
we
bravery.
All right, I better prepare for the worst.
The worst was Cliff for what he did to Jen, calling her like that,
yay!
scaring her.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why.
Yay! It wasn't Pacey. All right, what is the next episode?
Episode 12, titled Beauty Contest. We'll see what that it's about.
All right, you guys, see you next time.
Yep.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, this was fun.
Yes. Hopefully you can join us next time.
I would love to.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll see you guys later. Bye.
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 Thanks for listening to this episode of Duo Chat. If you want to chime in with your opinion about this episode and the show we discussed, you can email us at duochatpodcast@gmail.com. And to keep up with updates about the podcast, you can follow us at Twitter at duochatpodcast. And give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would really appreciate it.